Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a fabulous, unicorny Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada, and I'm half pony, half engineer, but today I'm mostly engineer. And with me is Mr. Lady Ada. I'm camera controlling. An exciting show for you tonight.
That's right.
Lots of projects, new things. I'm going to guess, but it's going to be 100% fun. Tell them what's on tonight's show, this magical show.
Glad you asked. Tonight the code is SMD. SMD for 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, except for software and gift certificates. We're going to go over the show and tell. Amazing people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Peck at the Mailbag entity is going to stop by.
Lovely Converse shoes there.
Yeah, and we're going to read some letters from you, the community. Adafruit Jobs Board, the greatest and best place online to post your skills, and also if you're a company to look for cool makers to work for your company. Time Travel Tuesday, we'll look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers. Wearables, 3D printing, Pi Day, we'll have new products, we'll answer your question, we'll have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Yay!
Yep. Okay, so let's pay some bills. So as always, a little reminder, we are supported by you, the community out there. We do not have loans, venture capital. Turns out that was a good idea. And we don't take ads or sponsorship. We just
sell your name to anybody.
We will never spam you, anything like that. So we're leaving money on the table, as the biz dev guys say.
I'm okay on this table, but don't say any money. But it's okay, I don't want it.
But instead, we've decided that there's something more valuable that's trust and cool people hanging out with the show and tell, making cool stuff with Adafruit products.
We have this totally revolutionary business, because I had to do a meeting when I talked about our business model, and I was like, it's revolutionary. We make quality original goods and exchange them for cash.
That's a unicorn company.
I'm telling you.
It's a unicorn company.
I could do $1 billion here.
Yeah. Okay. So there'll be $1 billion DIY company one day. I hope it's Adafruit, because we'll do so many cool things with $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways.
All sorts of trouble.
Yeah, we'll cause a lot of trouble, don't worry.
Okay.
So first up, we have our free deal going on right now, which is $200 or more, UPS ground, free, continental US, and a PermaProto at $99 or more. That's working out really well. People really like the PermaProto. If you are in New York City, we are still successfully doing same-day delivery. So if you order before 11 a.m., on a Monday, and you select same day, it'll arrive Monday before 5 p.m. It's amazing. So that's working out really well. This is the first step. Next up, drones, not kidding. We have the 10th floor here, so we'll be able to do drone top to drone top. It's going to take a few years, but this is the stepping stone to that.
We're going to do it.
Absolutely. Okay, so Lady Ada, you know what time it is?
Yeah.
Show and tell time.
Yay!
All right, people around the world, every single week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, show and share their hackerspace stuff, old things they found in a thrift store that's electronic based.
Books.
Yeah.
Kits that they designed, kits that they've built.
Yeah.
Products
that they just made, their first electronic project they're going to put on Tindy or something like that. They showed and shared it in the show and tell. What came by this week?
I got these down.
Yeah.
So we actually had a lot of awesome guests. Thank you everybody who showed up. Tony D started off with a thrift shop find. He's really good at finding cool thrift shops items. He found a 30s deco brass flashlight. It just looked really cool. This big flashlight. He's going to upgrade it, probably with lithium batteries and LEDs instead of this old plug-in light that burns out really fast. He's also been doing a lot of really neat dash button hacking. Dash button is this product from Amazon that's $5, and it's almost kind of like a joke. Like when I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke. It's a button that has Wi-Fi in it. Like literally, it's a physical button
that gives you macaroni and cheese.
That when you press it, has macaroni and cheese from Kraft delivered to your house via Amazon Prime. And they have multiple buttons. There's one for trash bags, one for diapers, and one for macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese is the funniest because it's such a bad idea. They don't have one for Oreos yet, but that would be even worse idea. But what's neat is it's how did they make a Wi-Fi button basically? And everything's Wi-Fi button for $5. We're taking it apart, we're hacking it, and we're going to show you how you can reprogram it as well. So we showed a preview of that. We also had Richard Alberton, who's been coming by with a lot of cool projects. And one project he's working on right now is he's working on the Huzzah ESP8266 breakout that we have, and he's learning how to use it so he can maybe do workshops that are like low-cost Internet of Things workshops. He also is designed a little bit of Trinket plus NeoPixel code to add 2 buttons to a Trinket so that, because a Trinket has 3 pins available, so you can have 2 buttons and then 1 pin for NeoPixel output, so you can have multiple patterns and speeds and color effects. So basically you can like have a wearable that you can have different patterns going on. Aiden he talked about how a few weeks ago he had made this 3D printed flexible gripper where it was a hydraulic gripper. It was really cool, like it would grip things using silicone cast, 3D printed and then silicone cast. And then we blogged about it, and they said people really liked his flexi gripper, his robotic gripper, but they don't have the ability to 3D print or do silicone molding. So he actually showed how you could build one with a bucket and some tubing. Like it was really big, but it looked cool, like some sort of like futuristic robot grabber thing.
Yeah.
And he's also...
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of some of the how-tunes. Because you can make it with all the stuff around the house. I thought it'd be cool for like kids to make from the swing set or from the slide. You can like
grab stuff, but it's just like really big.
You can grab another child's
head.
Another child's head.
Don't get in trouble. He also built a flexible hydraulic extender where it doesn't tilt. It's actually like it moves straight up and down, which is tough because usually you need support material to make it so it extends up. Because like if you have something flexible and tall, like a noodle, it just flops over. So he added this kind of spiral, like accordion body to it. And so when it expands like an accordion rather than like flopping over. So that's kind of neat. Andy W. Is a new person who showed up, and he's working on an EL wire car. Was it a dash or was it like, I don't know what this thing was.
No, it's a VU meter for the inside of a car.
No, there's a VU meter, but then the quilted
and then the other thing, I believe it's for the inside of the roof.
Oh, the roof. Yeah. Okay, I don't have a car, so I'm totally car ignorant. But
you've never owned a car in your life. Isn't that amazing?
I do not know.
You've never owned a car or a cell phone.
I'm like, this quilted thing looks cool, but I don't know what it's for.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's for not for a dash. It's for the car roof.
By the way, you're not missing out on anything. Cars are kind of tough to deal with.
I just don't know where I'd park it.
They're fun to do car projects with. But if you're just using it to get because you're commuting to a job, it's terrible.
The problem is people keep emailing and saying like, why don't you guys do any ODB projects? And I'm like, I actually have no way to test and build an ODB2 project. I would love to, but I can't. We don't have access to a car.
We're in New York. It's kind of hard to have a car too.
Anyways, I'm not going to Uber and be like, hey, can I plug into your ODB port? That'd be weird. He also built a VU meter using the LM, I think 3916, which is a VU meter chip that you can plug LEDs in. So it's kind of cool, and it kind of does a lot of the work for you. You need a microcontroller. VJ has a new robotic servo-driven turntable. This time she has it's being driven from the outside, not center-driven. So the motion is much smoother and easier. And she also showed off her Burning Man bike, which is covered with EL wire and looks very safe. Won't get hit with a car or anything while she's out in the desert. Ryan, also a new person, is really into electronics and designed his first kit. Looked really cool. There's a 555 based synthesizer kit with like multiple buttons and like pitch and volume, and it was actually a really, really nice kit. And he used the kit guide that I wrote like 8 years ago, which is he was probably like 6 or something, and used that to design his kit to make it low cost, easy to build, and it looked really good. And he's going to sell on Tindy, so sign up for that when it's available and check out this cool 555 synthesizer. And finally, we have C. Scott, who it's his birthday. Happy birthday, C. Scott. He has a 555 shirt on, so it's notable.
Yeah.
He's getting through his Chrominia synthesizer, his SMT version. And he also talked about his NeoPixel driver as well. So lots of NeoPixels, lots of EL, lots of 555s. Very on point show.
All participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com, and we will send you an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. They're famous. All right, Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
If you would like to show off your crafting, cosplay, electronics, mechanical engineering, lathes, Radio Shack memorabilia, whatever cool stuff, makery stuff you want to show off, your hackerspace, your tools, come by the show and tell. We have it every single Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here. It's live. All you need to do is get a Google Plus account, go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/plussimpleadafruit. Look for the thread where we have an Adabot saying, come on here to get added to the show and tell circle. Comment there and just say, hey, I'm going to show off your project. Don't spam us because we might like label you spam. But as long as you seem like you are actually going to do something with our invitation, we will invite you.
We have 550 people that are in the show and tell circle, and so all of them get the invite. So sometimes it's a little slow. Sorry about that. It's Google. They all kind of go at once. But what I've realized is I can put the link in the comments, and so I try to do that. And so a couple people that were trying to get in did. They did get in through that.
It's Google Hangouts, guys.
Yeah, whatever. Everything changes every week.
We can't pay them to make it better. It's like what it is.
We are the product.
But hey, we're doing the best we can,
Yeah.
and we do this every Wednesday. Show up,
Yeah.
and then of course it's recorded to YouTube, and it's great.
It's all good. Okay, Packet, the mailbag is here. So every single week we have a meeting called State of the Fruit. We read these letters to everyone. This is a special letter. And I'll tell you why.
Ooh.
So we get so many letters in from people that we have like maybe
What's the backlog?
like 3 years worth. And so every week we have one. So this one is from Tony. Hi Adafruit, I just want to send a picture that shows my cat Carmen enjoying the 12mm diffuse LEDs pickle strand. I'm a big fan of the product too, thanks. So this is from Tony DeCola, and he sent a picture of his cat. And this was probably well over a year ago. And
this was like 2 years ago.
And you know what's cool is because Tony came on the show and tell, and we got to know him, he now is an engineer at Adafruit. So that's how it goes.
All you have to do is put LEDs on your cat.
Yeah.
And you can have a job.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
well,
there's a little more than that.
Also, he's a nice person because he sent this nice email, and he sent us a cat photo.
And it's a lovely cat.
Another company that we're friends with was puzzled. They said, why do you do the show and tell? It seems like you guys spend all this time and you don't make any money off of it. You don't, like, what are you doing? And we said it's one of the best ways to find amazing people to work with. If you can find us on show and tell and show us your project and send a cat photo and like do stuff, you probably will end up working with Adafruit in some way. Like that's how it works.
It's worked out for about half our engineers.
Yeah, so anyways. All right, Adafruit jobs board. For the new folks who tune in. So we made a jobs board because all the jobs board out there, they all suck. And
they totally suck.
They trick you and they spam you. And then people who get their identity stolen, a lot of it is because people place fake job ads and they make you fill out an application, and that's how they get you. Anyways, so what we did is we have adafruit.com/jobs. Every job comes in, Lady Ada and I approve it, we look at it, and we make sure it's not a headhunter or any scammy, spammy thing. And basically, it's makers who post their skills. Like, hey, I'm great at 3D printing or laser cutting.
I can do layout,
or
I can do
whatever.
microcontrollers.
And then it's maker companies who want cool people that are going to be on the Adafruit site. So this week is kind of a follow-up from our store visit last week. This is from Little Bits. If you want to work at right now what I believe is the only open source hardware retail experience in the world right now, down on Broadway, West Broadway, you can work for the NYC Little Bit store. So they call this a retail ambassador. Basically, you would play around with Little Bits all day while people come in.
Teach kids and adults about electronics. It's fun. It's here in New York. Maybe you need a little bit of work for the next couple months. Because they're only doing it until January. It's a pop-up store. Yeah. So if like, oh, you have something going on in the beginning of the next year, like you can do this as a temporary thing. Yeah.
So anyways, that's the job. If you're in the New York area, it's a cool store. We have photos and videos and more. And open source hardware company, if you wanted to kind of be around a company like Little Bits right now. Plus they have funding. Mm-hmm. $44.2 million they got in funding. All right. Next up, it is back to school month at Adafruit. With back to school month, that means we have some posts, some things. So we have a little guide up right now. So I'm just going to go over this really quick. If you got kids, bring them in. Ardex. That's an easy one.
Yes, it's good for learning Arduino, solderless, get started immediately, comes with a book.
Yeah.
This is our Raspberry Pi starter kits. We have a couple different ones. We've got a bunch of tutorials with Raspberry Pi. If you're interested in doing Raspberry Pi, we kind of give you a pack that has a case, a Wi-Fi adapter, like the Pi itself, a breadboard, a cobbler, and like some parts, and an SD card that's pre-burned. So you're ready to go. This is our Flora GPS starter kit. So if you want to make something that lights up or it changes based on GPS. We have a couple of Flora packs. There's a couple like Gemma and Flora starter packs. So pick which one you want, the sensor one or the budget one or the GPS one. This is the Parallax Bobot that works with Arduino. This is like the standard learning robot. Parallax has been doing this for like 20 years. They really know how to make an educational robot. They've got great curriculum. This is a classic. Got the Makey Makey. This is also like everyone knows the Makey Makey. It's a little resistive touch to keyboard adapter. You plug it in, it looks like a keyboard, so it works with Mac, Windows, Linux, whatever you want. And then using alligator clips, you can connect them to anything conductive, which isn't just metal. You can use metal, but you can also use things that are wet, like water, or like damp, like food and fruit. So people make banana pianos with them, or they make something when they splash into a pool, an effect goes off, or they make Play-Doh controllers for Pac-Man. So you can have a lot of fun with this. It's a very creative way to get fun new materials into your electronics projects.
Yeah.
The little bits we just talked about, these are the easiest and fastest way to start experimenting and understanding electronics and sensors. You don't have to even write any code if you don't want to. You just plug in the parts, and you can see how the power and inputs and outputs all affect each other. It's just fun. There's hundreds of different combinations. This is the deluxe kit, which comes with almost everything that they make. So yeah, it's great for. It's actually for two things. One, for people who want to learn electronics, also for industrial designers who want to experiment and play with interactive techniques. So both are good uses.
Yep.
People who are going to college for interactive design, or students.
And then this is our Adafruit coloring book. This is E for electronics. Lady A is E for electronics. We've done a couple successful runs of this so far. It's been in multiple printings. And one of the things that I recently read about is apparently coloring books is a new adult hobby. So we have two coloring books. I didn't put the other one in here, but we have E is for electronics and R is for robots. So as far as I know, these are the only...
U is for unicorns.
Well, we don't have that one yet.
Yeah, next up.
I do have to start thinking about the next coloring book. I think I think it might be B is for biohacking.
Okay.
I think that might be the one.
Some plant magnets. It's all about magnet implantation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, DNA splicers and sequencers, and there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of cool stuff. Anyways, we did electronics coloring book.
And for mechanical engineering would maybe be good.
Yeah, it just...
It's kind of robotics-y, though.
Yeah, I have to... Yeah, exactly, it's robots. So I have to figure out, we can't just stay the same. So that might be the next one. Anyways, that's our back-to-school roundup.
Okay.
All right, next up, some news in the world of open source hardware. Every week we try to cover something interesting that's happened in the world of open source hardware. And every week I adjust this logo because I move it around.
You're like a designer.
Make the logo bigger.
That's
okay,
nice.
So this week, big news this morning. I knew this was coming, but I couldn't talk about it. A site that I had started over 10 years ago called Hackaday. I don't run it anymore. Other people do. But they kept the logo and the look and stuff. It got acquired by SupplyFrame, and they have this Hackaday.io tutorial guide thing. They have a big prize. You're a judge. And then today they announced the acquisition of Tindy. So Tindy, for those of you who don't know, has been called the Etsy of electronics. And so basically if you make
It's like the eBay of crafts, or handmade stuff. This is funny.
Yeah. It's like the Uber of Snapchat.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Tindy is where you go when you sell your electronics and you want to do things like have a larger audience see it. So big deal for Tindarians, I think that's what they call themselves, and Hackadayers, I don't know. I never came up with what a Hackaday...
Hackaders.
Hackers. So it's pretty cool. And Tindy is a big source of open source hardware. That's where a lot of people publish and show their open source hardware.
Yeah, also people will do a project and then they'll get emails or comments on their blog post or Instructable saying, I'd love to make this kit, or build this project, can you sell me the PCB or the chips or some part of it, or the entire thing assembled. So Tindy is where a lot of them go because it kind of provides a structure for you, and they take a small fee, but they kind of take care of a lot of the interactive stuff that you need to do to sell. Especially if you're not going to set up an entire store, you want to just have a couple items, it's definitely going to be a lot easier.
And potentially, this is a good kind of ecosystem play. So someone goes to the Hackaday site, they maybe see something on hackaday.io, maybe they follow a link to a blog post and learn something. Maybe they decide to publish a project and maybe it gets some traction on the blog, maybe there's a link to it, maybe they do it on hackaday.io. And eventually people say, I'd like to buy this. And so someone's like, well, I guess I have all these people asking for it, maybe I'll make it and I'll put it on the Hackaday Tindy experience. And then maybe the project will be so interesting it'll be entered in another Hackaday prize. Maybe next year it's going to go to Mars instead of space, or who knows. And And it's kind of a nice play. There you got editorial. They've got the Hackaday store. They've got the Hackaday I/O system. Like it's like coming together. Trust me, like I'm so glad that Hackaday isn't like what it was heading towards when fellow Jason Kilcanis had it. It was turning it into like a Netscape relinker spamming thing. No, I was like, oh my god.
The Nokia 900
it's like, what
thing.
are you doing to my child?
Yeah.
So like it's in much better hands now, and shout out to the Hackaday people in Supply Frame. They're not screwing it up, which is like sometimes the only thing you can hope for.
No, I think it's going to be great. It is a great mix because a lot of people who sell on Tindy are on Hackaday, and a lot of people are on Hackaday on Tindy. So there's a lot of overlap. They can promote Tindy products on the blog and maybe promote Hackaday I/O.
No, I think it's cool.
I mean, it's a good mix.
Yeah. All right.
And Hackaday has a store. Anyways, it's all good.
Yeah. So that's my open source hardware news for the week. More next week. Okay, Arduino news. So every week, I would like to tell you how many Arduinos we're shipping. We're shipping tons of Arduinos. Lots. I've asked permission to say the number. I can't. So once again, we're shipping a lot.
Yeah, Meg is up next.
We're shipping a lot of Arduinos.
Okay.
That is what I'm allowed to say.
Good.
Like a lot.
Yes.
Like a lot.
A lot.
Like a lot.
One lot worth.
Like a lot.
But how big is that lot?
It's a lot.
Not a little bit.
No, little bits we already went over.
That's that. This is a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of a lot, we have a lot of tutorials. 826 in Adafruit Linux system.
All right, we were at 800. I'm trying to get to 1,000 here. You know what I mean? Like.
Okay, we'll go through these.
Yeah, where to go?
So this one is access your invoice. This is if you want a copy of your invoice, and many people email us and ask us, you can do it yourself. You just log into your account, and we show you how. It's an Adafruit learning system.
Yeah, especially this is how, if you have a guest account, how to get it if you're a guest, because you have to make an account and then link your order to it. So
you can still
get
do
the
order
invoice,
tracking with
but
guest accounts.
Yeah, but if you want to get the invoice, you have to do like an extra step. We'll show you how to do that.
Okay, next up. This is a 3D printed flexible LED glove with conductive filament. This video is coming out tomorrow. But if you wanted to look at it now, it's a very cool use of this very advanced material.
This is neat because it's dual extruded flexible filament and conductive filament, and it's extruded on one plate. So you have a multi-layer conductive path going through flexible filament. So they made it into a glove with like LEDs at the end to show it's like flexible, and there's multiple layers of conductivity. So it's very interesting, very, very fresh and new. No soldering, no wiring, just 3D printing.
Okay, this is the costume unicorn horn that lady is modeling here. This is how you make your own unicorn company. I'll be wearing this later. Don't spoil the surprise. Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna be watching a video about that shortly.
Okay.
Next up, this is the mini pan and tilt kit assembly. This is if you want to take the little kit that we have.
Yeah,
and make the little
we have a kit we have a kit and one that's assembled. And if you already have servos, you might want to pick up the kit version, but it's a little like tricky to figure out how to put it together. So this just shows you how the details.
We have the overview of the MQTT library for Adafruit.io. You're all over this. This is
the way for you to test Adafruit.io using a desktop client from MQTT.fx. They made like a really sweet, it's Java based, works on Windows, Mac, Linux. I only tested on Windows, but if it works on Windows, probably the rest aren't too hard to do. And it's just a really nice way for you to like quickly subscribe and publish and like push data and pull data with, like, cause I'm using it with like electronics, but it's like, oh, if I want to test something, it's like, oh, how do I like force a value to see that my if this and that does the right thing? So this is really handy. Okay. Also, like you can quickly see what the interaction is. So yeah, you don't have to like reprogram your Arduino. You can just click and type.
And last up, this is the tutorial that goes along with one of our new products.
Yeah, this is the BMP 280, which is a new barometric pressure sensor plus temperature sensor breakout that we released last week, but we're going to talk about today. This is a tutorial just showing you the pinouts, how to assemble it, the wiring, Arduino library, some questions about it. It's basically the upgrade to the BMP 180 and 183, which is the upgrade to the BMP 085. So like Bosch has made them even smaller and cooler.
Okay.
Nice sensors.
All right, next up, time travel. We look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, someone who did something really amazing before today. I mean, I guess you could do a time travel earlier in the day. This week, this is Frances Ellen. She's an American computer scientist. That's and she was born in 1932. She is an American computer scientist, pioneer in the field of optimization compilers. Her achievement includes seminal work in compilers, code optimization, and parallelization. She also had a role in intelligent work on programming language and security code for the NSA. Allen was the first female IBM fellow, and in 2006 became the first woman to win the Turing Award. Big deal.
That's pretty hardcore.
Frances Allen. And you know what's amazing? I have never seen a poster of her about someone who's like, we saw this whole row of pioneers in computer science or people who had achievement in computer science. I've never seen her. I am going to see what we can do about that.
Yeah, I have not heard of her.
Yeah, man.
I think I might have heard her name when I did compiler class. But
yeah, the first woman.
She's not well known.
Well, they probably just said like Frances, and like it's like, oh, it's some guy. So and what's amazing is she's the first woman to win the Turing Award. You'd think that's enough. You won.
That's cool.
Yeah, and she was the first female IBM fellow.
Yeah, she's like done it all. She was the NSA.
She's done a lot.
She went to the IBM.
I don't know if she's still alive. I have to check. I'm 32. I don't know.
Compilers are cool.
Yeah. Okay. Rebels. All right. This week we have a video of how to make this. Let's roll the tape. Press the button.
Here's a fun and easy costume project you could build in an afternoon. It's a 3D printed unicorn horn with NeoPixel LEDs inside, powered by an Adafruit Gemma microcontroller. Let's get started. Download our free file and print out the model in white or glow-in-the-dark Ninja Flex. With our recommended settings, the print takes about 3 hours. These sew tabs make it really easy to attach to a hat or headband or hoodie. You get the idea. And you can use it as is or heat up your soldering iron to add some electronics. This seemingly simple object was actually quite complex to model for 3D printing. So Noe made a layer-by-layer video detailing all of what he did in CAD and the special considerations for printing, including dual extrusion for a multicolored horn. I'll put the link in the description. We're using 2 NeoPixel sticks back-to-back and wired in parallel. Use silicone-coated stranded wire to connect the digital inputs together, as well as power and ground. Also add long wires to connect up to Gemma. Load the simple rainbow sketch onto Gemma using the Arduino software, and test your circuit before sticking the NeoPixel boards together with foam tape. To make a simple headband, measure 2 pieces of grosgrain ribbon to fit your noggin, and zigzag stitch them together along the edges. Fold over and stitch the ends together around an elastic hairband to get a nice stretch fit. The ribbon sandwich can hold the Gemma and battery off to one side, with wires inside leading to the pixels. To build the circuit on a baseball cap, thread the wires through a hole in the front before soldering to Gemma. A little optional fiber fill can help keep the pixels centered in the horn. All that remains to do is hand stitch it in place through the sew tabs. And just like that, Adafruit is a unicorn company. This is a great last-minute Burning Man or Halloween project, and there's plenty of room to put your own spin on it with sensors and LED animations. I can't wait to see what you make in our weekly Show and Tell Hangout on Google+. And please subscribe for more electronic costume projects from Adafruit.
Okay, and don't forget, Becky has Wearable Electronics with Becky Start every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today was an amazing show. Jessica co-hosted. Check it out, and they had the unicorn hats, and they talked about all the stuff. They also played this. They have a new segment. So,
what's it called?
Well, the new segment is like, which one's not a Kickstarter?
No.
And Becky asked me which one I thought, and I guessed the wrong one.
Really?
So you got to watch the show. I'm not going to
Okay.
spoil it because you can play along at home. Okay. And my comment was, well, no matter what, they're all going to be Kickstarters.
That's
So.
true. Even
Okay.
if you say no, you have to refresh. You never know.
Yeah. All right. 3D printing this week. Noah and Pedro are cooking up a lot of cool things. I am going to combine it with another one. So before I show the video, I'm going to just remind you tomorrow is 3D Hangouts, 3D Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the longest running and most popular 3D printing show
And best.
in the world.
That's the best.
There's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one. So someone can come along and dethrone them, but they're gonna have to get up early, and they're gonna have to get like 50 printers and like do a bunch of work. No one wants to do a bunch of work. So anyways, we're gonna combine it this week because it's 3D printing and it's Raspberry Pi. I've been trying to play this video for a while, but we've had guests and stuff. So 3D printing and Raspberry Pi. Here it is, the Pi screen.
Hey, what's up everybody? Got another DIY project for you. In this video, we'll show you how to build a portable HDMI monitor. This is a pretty cool project, great for cameras, computers, and of course the Raspberry Pi. Now you'll only need a few parts to build this project and it actually won't cost you a premium. The HDMI backpack is a plug-and-play monitor and it can be powered through USB. But to make this portable, we'll use a PowerBoost 1000C and a 2500 milliamp LiPo battery. The PowerBoost will actually convert the 3.7 volts from the battery into 5 volts to properly power the monitor. We'll use a slide switch to toggle the power, and a bonus awesome feature, you can actually recharge the battery using micro USB. So it's got a charging circuit built in. To keep everything together, we designed an enclosure for 3D printing. We'll mount the display to the standoffs and optimize the overhang so we can print with no support material. You can download the CAD files and customize the design to fit your project. To print these parts, your 3D printer will need a big enough build plate. You can print the 2-piece enclosure in your favorite filament, and it'll only take about 4 hours to print. So while we do that, let's go ahead and get started on the circuit. Let's take the slide switch and bend the leads. That way we can easily fit it inside the enclosure later. I recommend checking out the guide on the Adafruit Learning System. We put together a circuit diagram so you can follow along and build this project. Next up, we'll insert the wired slide switch through the enclosure. We'll go ahead and tin the pads on the display to make it easier to solder wires to ground and 5 volts. On the PowerBoost 1000C, we'll go ahead and solder the connections to ground and 5 volt. Next, connect the wires from the slide switch to enable and ground. This will let you safely turn the display on or off. Now we can mount the PowerBoost to the standoffs on the cover with machine screws. We can get the display mounted to the enclosure using another set of 440 machine screws. The battery connects to the JST port and you can attach it to the inside of the cover using a piece of gaffer's tape, and that'll keep it in place. To cover up the enclosure, we'll fasten another set of machine screws to the corners. Okay, now we can remove the protective film from the screen. We actually left it on there this whole time so we don't scratch the screen. And last but not least, we can install a 1/4-20 thread insert. This will allow you to mount the display to any standard tripod. We actually put 2 here so you can mount it in either portrait or landscape. And for recording this video, we use shoe mounts to attach to the DSLR. Most cameras have a standard hot shoe adapter so you can easily attach your monitor to the top of any camera. So you can use this display to monitor your video footage or even help you compose that shot if you're doing photography. You can also use it as a second screen to display your favorite stream. What would you use this monitor for? Tell us in the comments below. If you want to make a smaller display that uses your camera's LiPo battery, definitely check out this project over here. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more 3D printing projects from Adafruit. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, there we go. Good. So we're all caught up with 3D printing
Yeah?
videos. Yeah, next week will be the glove video.
Oh, okay.
We're zooming.
So now we're like doing the week after. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Before we get over to new products, Lady Ada, the code is SMD. 10% off in the Adafruit store. All the products that we have in stock. The only thing that's not on sale is the gift certificates, because it'd be weird, and software, because we're not allowed to. So let's do this. It's new product time, Lady Ada. Here it is. Okay. All right. This week, you have a sensor.
Let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with the BMP 280. This is that barometric pressure and temperature sensor from Bosch. So Bosch is well known for the BMP 085, the BMP 180, and the BMP 183. And there's a lot of them, and they finally kind of made up their minds and made the BMP 280, which combines the BMP 180 and the 183. The 180 is I2C only, and the 183 was SPI only. They finally figured out with the BMP 280 is now both I2C and SPI. It has the same precision temperature sensor. I think it's a couple degrees C, 1 or 2 degrees C centigrade accuracy, and the barometric pressure is one of the best barometric pressure sensors. It can do like a 1/4 meter to a meter altitude accuracy. So you can wire it up pretty easily. We have a level shifter and 3-volt regulator on there, so you can wire it up to your Arduino or anything else. We got a library, we got a tutorial. This is kind of it. I think that this is, you know, if you're looking to do a barometric pressure sensor like this, you should probably get this one because this is the newest and the best from Bosch.
Okay.
And then if you want a humidity sensor, don't forget we also have the BME 280, which is very similar sounding, but also adds a humidity sensor, which some people want barometric pressure, temperature, humidity. So that's that one. This one doesn't have humidity, so that's why there's 2 of them.
I've noticed you like the Bosch.
Bosch.
They're pretty good.
They're good. They make good sensors.
Yeah, they do. That's cool that a company is known for that.
Yeah, no.
Is there any other company that's known for making good sensors? Like, wow, those are great sensors.
You know, I like the ST sensors, but InvenSense is known for their sensors as well. Although I'm really digging the Bosch 9DOF sensor that we have in the store. Like when they come in, they kind of they're honestly their firmware and their code kind of not so great, but the hardware is excellent.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bosch engineers, if you're out there, got some kudos and some
What's
stuff to work on.
interesting is analog devices used to have like the best accelerometers, like the ADXL. Like they kind of were accelerometers. They were like MEMS accelerometers, and then they kind of lost it to like Bosch and to ST and to a bunch of like
Ain't nothing permanent in
Freescale.
electronics. Someone can come in and Bosch.
I don't know
Bosch
anyone
your lunch.
using
Yeah.
analog devices, accelerometers anymore.
Next up, this is really cool. Everybody was really excited about this.
Yay,
This is
Chip
the
Quick.
Yeah, we got the Chip Quick in, and the best thing about the Chip Quick is this video. So this video, what I really like is
This is it.
everybody gets on edge when they watch this. It's like 30 seconds, and we do this overview, and I watch the comments on like Google Plus, and they're like, "Oh my God, what happened? Like this was a nightmare." But then it's all resolved at the end because it's like a mess. It's like
No, it is. It's like a
no,
movie.
It's like, what did you do to this thing? And this looks like a total mess. You know what's even worse is when the chip gets pushed off, and it's like, oh my God, you ruined it. This is real. Oh,
Bang!
oh no! Oh, there's solder everywhere. Oh, and then it's like, well, wait.
I just clean it up and
And then you
everything.
can clean it up, and then you go. That's the sound it makes. But
And
look
it's
at
good
that.
as new.
Good as new.
Good as new.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's while this is playing,
Yeah.
if you want to repeat, I don't know.
It's on repeat.
Okay, it's on repeat. So first up, you put the flux. This is for desoldering components if you don't have a hot air gun, and this actually works really, really well. Chip Quick is known for how good it is. So the flux just makes it so you have a clean atmosphere, and then you melt the Chip Quick solder, which is a special alloy of solder that has a very low melting point. It stays liquid for quite a long time. So usually solder, when you melt it, it immediately goes hard. Right, so this has it's like eutectic solder. It's like very eutectic. So you can see that after it's melted, it stays liquid for like 5 to 10 seconds, which gives you enough time to heat up every side of the chip, and then you just slide it off, and then you use wick and some alcohol wipes or whatever to clean it off. So this is like a really great way to remove leaded like leaded chips like this one, like QFPs, T-SOPs, SOICs, because it's really hard to remove anything but like resistors and capacitors. I mean, you could use it on resistors and capacitors, but this really excels at, as you can see, is TQFPs and like other large leaded parts. Again, if you have a hot air gun, great, but if you don't, this can do it, and then you have little risk of heating up or damaging anything else, especially because sometimes you have a board where you can't heat up the whole board, or it's got a big ground plane, very hard to heat up. So I like the Chip Quick. I finally got around to getting it. We have the flux, which is just like totally awesome flux. It's just like really good flux anyway, so if you like soldering with flux, pick that up, comes with a syringe. We also have two kits. We have the lead kit and the Rojas kit. If you're doing lead solder, it's a little bit easier, so I'd go with the lead kit. If you have to go Rojas because you have a Rojas shop or all the stuff you're working on with Rojas has to maintain Rojas compatibility lead-free, pick up the lead-free one. It's probably going to be a little tougher to use because, again, like lead-free at higher temperatures, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work
This
as well.
is all about desoldering.
Yeah, it's all about desoldering, and then, of course, you'd use normal leaded or lead-free solder to solder the component back on.
Okay, that component, can you still reuse it?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, what's nice about this technique is that there's no like yanking or grabbing or bending or prying. So you have to wick the pin. So you'd use that solder wick on the pins, but it's pretty much ready to go. There's no damage.
And solder wick is like a hot brush that pulls all the stuff off, right?
Yeah, solder wick is actually kind of interesting. It's the orange stuff that gets used after this solder gets melted on. It's a braid. It's actually a copper braid, and it was like probably initially used for something else. But copper it really likes to suck in solder, and so when you press it up against a bunch of solder and you melt it, it wicks it. That's why it's called solder wick.
Yeah.
The solder comes into the fibers, and it kind of like, you can see it goes in, and then the wick turns silver.
Like a Brillo pad.
And it's like a sponge for solder once you heat it up. So you have to put it over the solder and you heat it up, and it just like sucks it up, and it really cleans it up. So you should also get a roll of solder wick if you don't have it, but chances are you do.
Okay, and then this is cool. You want to do a demo?
I'll just hold it up.
Okay,
See
so
if
this is
these are always
one of the
tricky.
Nootropic RGB matrix backpacks.
This is the version 2 of the Nootropic backpack. We've been carrying version 1, and then somebody pointed out there's a version 2, and I'm like, you're right, we should carry the version 2. So the version 1's on sale, and we have the version 2 now. It has.
No, you can hold it that way.
No, it's bright. You don't have to turn. You don't even have to turn. Like, this looks like a glowing.
Does it? Is
yeah,
everything
it's
okay?
glowing like you. Unless people want to see the unicorn.
Yeah.
One. It's fine.
Well, your unicorn is dimming.
Well, because it's been on for
Yeah,
like
it's been
2
on all
hours.
day.
There's an Atmega 328 on the back, it's like Arduino compatible. You can use an FTDI cable, and you use like a non-included 5 volts, 2 amp or 4 amp power supply. And this plugs in on the back into the little socket very nicely. And basically you can use our code to have animations or patterns or text. We have a library that works with it. It's a kit, so you put it together. But this version works with 16 by 32 panels, which are like the half dimension ones, or the 32 by 32. It doesn't work with the 32 by 64. Those need a mega, like they need a lot of RAM, so you can't use those. But this one works fine.
Okay. And then I'd say the star of the show tonight, besides you, is maybe this OLED.
I like the
This is
OLED.
a cool OLED. I like this because
You like OLEDs?
you set it up to do something cool. So these are the still photos. And tell me a little bit about this OLED, Lady Ada.
Okay, so this OLED is a really big one. We have these little mini OLEDs in the store. They're like about an inch or an inch and a quarter diagonal. This one is 2.7 inches diagonal, and it comes with a module. It comes on this PCB, which is kind of nice because like once you get that big, you really need to have like a strong backing and everything all set up. It has a little boost converter and stuff on the back as well. It's 128 by 64. It actually can do grayscale, but we don't have RAM on the Arduino to buffer a grayscale image, so we just have code for monochrome, and you can see like below the monochrome image. And it works great with our GFX library, so it's pretty easy to use. It's just like a gigantic OLED. And what we really like about OLEDs is that they're very high contrast. So if you're using them like indoors or outdoors, or the light is going to be changing a lot, these are like really vivid. Like you don't have that kind of diffuse look that you get with LCDs because there's the backlight, or even TFTs because there's like this backlight that leaks light everywhere. With OLEDs, every single pixel is a light, and it turns it on. So when the pixel's off, it's like black. Like there's no light leaking, there's no backlight. It's off. So you can pretty much read them outdoors. Like, I mean, if it's really bright, it's hard, but like for the most part, you can read them in various brightnesses. And they look really, really good as well. And I have an overhead demo.
Yeah, let's go to the overhead because you have a cool demo, which I really like.
I have a demo, but the problem is it takes a couple minutes for it to set up, but I'll leave it here in the meantime.
So someone can tweet to add Adafruit and it'll show up, or how does it work?
Yeah, it looks for the word Adafruit. It's the demo.
So right now, people that are watching live, can they tweet at Adafruit and this might show up maybe?
It might show up, but there's a thing is that this uses Zapier and there's a 5-minute delay.
Okay, so they should do it now.
So if they do it now, it'll show up in a couple of minutes, and maybe I'll shut off while we're doing questions.
But tell us what this demo is maybe.
But this demo is, okay, so I actually have it hooked up to our Huzzah ESP8266, and I've got a FTDI cable over here. And then this module is a 3-volt logic module. So we don't have a level shifter involved. If you're using it with Arduino, you do need to have a level shifter, which we include. But it's pretty easy to wire up. You just have to kind of put a couple wires in. And what we did is I'll reset this. And you can see how nice this looks.
It looks beautiful on the screen, too.
Yeah, it's like really crisp and beautiful. And like I can even like turn on the light and it's still readable, which you can't do with a TFT. And this is connecting to Adafruit West, or SSID here. And it's looking for our feed on Adafruit I/O. So this is my testing Adafruit I/O as well. You do need a microcontroller with a 1 kilobyte of RAM at least, because you may have to buffer the entire display. But other than that, it's like a really just lovely large display. I want to do a couple of Internet of Things projects. And I don't like TFTs because when they're off, like they still leak a lot of light. So like indoors or like at night, you can kind of tell that they're not off. And also if there's sunlight in the room, because I want to have this on the wall, like if it shines on it, you couldn't read it if it's a TFT. So that's why I went with an OLED. So we'll check back in a couple minutes and we'll see when the tweets come in.
Yeah, if anyone tweets at us, maybe we'll
I know, but it was a delay and then there's this thing.
Yeah. Well,
this is the tough part about live.
Yeah, so it looks like some people did tweet because I saw them on Twitter. So we might see this.
All
we
right.
might see this in a few minutes.
You can do it, little huzzah.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So with that, Lady Ada, guess what? That was all the new products.
Yay! All right, I'll holler when this changes.
Yeah, we'll holler and we'll go to it. It'll be fine. Okay. So anything you saw that we have in stock, you can get 10% off. Code is SMD, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Surface mount devices.
Yeah.
Which is different than SMT, surface mount technology, but like they basically mean the same thing.
Yeah, everybody means the same.
Yeah, they mean the same thing.
Okay, we're gonna open up to questions. Post your questions in the Adafruit chat rooms. We're going to answer them.
Yeah, we have time for questions today. I kind of got through the new products pretty fast.
Yeah. Okay, so the first question was, so if someone is going to sell something on Tindy or really anything, what's your advice for margins? How do they figure out how much they should charge the customer and how much do they charge resellers?
That's a good question. Yeah, this is one of the toughest problems in selling kits, and a lot of people they kind of wait. They don't do this part till the end, and so they end up getting in a little bit of trouble. One thing you don't want to do is basically sell it for the same price you're buying it at, because if you have any problems or like delays or prices go up for your components, or you have to pay for shipping or whatever, or you have some yield issues, you're going to have to eat that cost. So like people who end up saying like, oh, the parts were $5, I'm selling it for $6, like this is not really a good idea, especially if it's like, $20, I'm selling it for like 21 or something. Like it's not going to cover your costs. So if you're designing a new kit and you're going to sell it just yourself and you're okay with forever just selling it on your own, I suggest selling it for 2 to 3 times the bill of materials costs. So let's say you had a kit that had like $5 in parts. The PCB is $1, the chips $2, resistors, capacitors, and buttons, whatever, it's $5. So you want to double that, and that's like approximately that's $10. That's like your minimum. You should never sell it for less than that. And then if you want to have distributors, what you do is actually you multiply by 3. So it would be $15. So a $15 kit would mean that you could sell it yourself $15, and then you could sell it to somebody else for like, I don't know, like 9, and then they would sell it for 15. So that's called double margin. So like you have a wholesale margin, a retail margin. And that's what lets you be able to have distributors. The problem is if you don't have those 2 margins, like if somebody comes to us and says like, I have a kit and it's awesome and it's like $25 retail and I'll sell it to you for like 22, I'm like, well, there's just not enough margin there. So that's why it's always good to have a little bit more space. Hey, the Twitter thing worked.
Oh, the Twitter thing worked?
Yeah.
Quick, to the tweets.
Yay, thanks, dprime123.
That's cool.
It worked.
Okay.
It just took a few minutes.
All right. We'll leave it here during questions.
Okay, so, well, I'll cover it if somebody says something horrible. None of they would. So when you're thinking about your margins, yeah, basically you want to have like 2 to 3 times the price. That's kind of where I suggest starting. And if you find that's difficult to hit, you might want to look at how you can lower your bill of materials costs. That's where your savings come. So like, for example, circuit boards, if you're buying a lot of circuit boards, instead of buying them from a prototype shop, maybe like start quoting with a PCB manufacturer that makes a lot more PCBs. So you can get like, you have to buy like 200 instead of 10, but the pricing like per piece goes down dramatically. Take sign-ups so you have an idea of how many people are going to buy, and that way you can buy enough components, because again, if you're buying 100 chips, it's a lot cheaper per piece than 10. So that's kind of like some of the tricks and tips that I suggest for kit makers.
So this is like 3 huzzah questions in a row.
Okay.
So someone has the CC3000. They want to know, question, I have the CC3000, best method to feed its high power requirement. Also, what is the power requirement of Huzzah?
I think the CC3000, like most Wi-Fi, has a 250 milliamp current requirement. So, if you're using it with an Arduino, like if you have our CC3000 breakout or shield, we have a regulator on board. So you just give it 5 volts. I think it's like 5 to 17 volts, and it will power itself just fine. I think just make sure it has like 200, 250, at least maybe 300 milliamps of current available.
Okay. More. People have more questions. Next one is, how much RAM does the ESP Huzzah have? Do you know?
Wow, I actually do not know how much RAM the ESP266 has.
It's not a trivia question, but someone look it up and post in the comments.
For the flash, I know it's 4 megabytes.
Yeah.
Not 4 megabits, it's 4 megabytes. But I do not remember how much RAM it has.
Yeah. Okay, another one. Do you plan to add USB support on Huzzah for at least the ease of giving it power in standalone projects?
Yeah, I am thinking about it. I want to make sure that I have a good USB to serial chip. And I'm evaluating. The first one I picked doesn't work to program it, which is a little annoying. So I'm going to go back and redesign. Okay.
Someone says, what soldering kits would you recommend to a 7-year-old into creating electronics? So I'd first start out with little bits, just because there's no soldering, and then after that, with adult supervision,
like a mini podcast.
A Minty Boost. You know what kids really like? They really like a little mischief. So a TV Be Gone, because then they'll turn off the TVs. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. There's a couple ones to try out. How can you design a rubber or silicone pad controller? For example, this would benefit the Pi Girl to silence the buttons when pushed.
The Pi Girl Pocket, I know, Noe and Pedro designed their own silicon elastomers. No, they didn't. They didn't do the elastomers. They did those buttons.
Can you do Ninja Flex?
You could. I'm trying to think. They did do a project with the silicone. Oh, maybe they did the D-pad. They did in rubber Ninja Flex. So check out the Pi Girl Pocket. It's been a while since I remember what they did, but I think they designed some flexible button stuff.
Okay. Someone wants to know if we're going to stock the Flash Forward 3D printer. Yeah, we're working on it. We are. And then, by the way, how does this go? Does it refresh on the next one?
So I'll tell you.
How does it work?
I'll tell you the thing.
I wanna know how this thing works.
So this is the deal. So I signed up for Zapier, which is the gateway that we use for Adafruit.io to like get tweets or Google Calendar or like Gmail or whatever. Like it does the gateway for you to get all these services and pipe into Adafruit.io. And I have the free version, so it only updates every like 5 to 15 minutes.
So this might be it.
Yeah.
Thank goodness thank you Prime123 for doing a nice tweet. That's cool.
I should upgrade to get the nicer version so I can have like more common updates. But this is the trade-off of using a free service. It's like it's not going to stream live to you because every time you do a request, it costs money and I'm not paying. So there's a limit, but it does come through eventually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna do a trivia question. It's that time later. Trivia time. All right. Can you tell everybody the rules?
Absolutely. I've invented a new drink.
Yeah.
A little water bottle.
I've got the goth black unicorn. I am a black unicorn. That's actually what I am.
It's like the black swan.
Like there's just me, and like if you catch me, it's okay, but I'm kind of dark.
Okay.
You still
I don't know. Has there ever been black unicorns in mythology? There's white ones, right?
There's one now.
Okay. I'm going to keep you. Sorry, the trivia question today, if you've won something from this show, you can't enter again. You can enter as many times as you want if you haven't won, but once you win a prize, it's off the table, sit on your hands, go make a sandwich, go 3D print a unicorn hat or something. Let other people's win. We want to have everyone give a chance. The first person to type in the answer to the YouTube or Ustream chat, whichever one we see first, will be the winner. The winner wins a BMP 280 sensor.
Okay. Do you know what the product ID is on it?
Totally do not.
Is it this one? Is it
2651?
Yeah. So if you win, when you email support@adafruit.com, please put the product ID. It's very helpful.
2651.
Okay. So this is the trivia question. So everyone thinks it's going to be asking about the Time Travel Tuesday. I'm not going to do that.
Which is good that you memorize it anyways.
Yeah, but
cool.
you should memorize. Now you're going to think, and then just when you don't think that's what it is, that's what's going to be it. But this week, the trivia question is, what is the name of the parent company of Hackaday that just purchased Tindy? Type it in the chat. It is the name of the company that owns Hackaday and now owns Tindy together in a little hacky family. So let's see who gets it first. The answer is not 42. Kind of like the regular answer. So let's see. Who will type in the name of the parent company that owns Hackaday? Oh, I like how someone's like Fran Allen. It's not Fran Allen. Fran Allen does not own it.
She should.
Condé Nast. Good guess. You're thinking of Reddit. By the way, as a moderator of 3 subreddits, I believe that was a good guess. I tip my fedora to you.
Unicorn fedora. Yeah. Why didn't she make unicorn fedora? That would make
Okay, so Virtual Machine in YouTube got it right before Tobias. Virtual Machine, email support@adafruit.com. Congratulations, you get...
supply frame.
It's supply frame.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But Virtual Machine doesn't own it.
Sorry.
That's the name.
I spaced out for a second.
Yeah, Virtual Machine is the person's name. Supply Frame is the name of the company that owns Hackaday.
But Virtual Machine sounds like a good name of a company.
Virtual Machine will own this all one day. We will look out and we'll say, this is all Virtual Machine now. All right, so congrats. Virgil.
Good work, Virgil. You get a BMP 280, product number 2651. So please mention those numbers, 2651, when you email support@Adafruit.
Yeah. Congrats, Virtual Machine. Good work. Etsy, that's a good thing. All right. Anyways, that is our show for this evening, Lady Ada. That's it. Come back next week for more adventures, electronics, and more on Ask an Engineer.
And hats.
Yeah, we'll be here next week, 7:30 p.m. for Show and Tell. We'll be here 8 p.m. for Ask an Engineer. Wednesday of next week, Wearable Electronics Big Concern. Thursday tomorrow, Noah and Pedro. And then every Thursday after that, we're going to do that. We have some filming that we're doing. We've got some more Circuit Playgrounds coming up. Got some more cool
Labs.
new products. You're going to be on TV this week. I'll post up links for people to see. You're going to be on a business show for business ladies about business.
Millionaire Matchmaker?
No, it's not that one. You're going to be on TV. And then there's a couple other things coming up. It's really cool.
Real Housewife Engineers of New York?
Nope. That's not a show that I think is okay. No, you're going to just be you talking about Adafruit.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an interesting story.
Shame.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's the show.
We're going to go have dinner.
Yeah, we're going to go eat some food. Don't forget the code is SMD. You get 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And once again, thank you everyone out there, our team here at Adafruit that helps us run the shows, and the entire company, of course, all our remote team members who helps us out in every way, all of our community and customers. You make this show possible, and even your tweets help. Thank you, Danny Ackerman, for tweeting Adafruit Rocks.
Yay.
We appreciate it. We'll see everybody next week. Here is your moment of Zener. Oh, wait. Cat photo first.
How could you forget?
Yeah, I didn't forget. My words came out at the same time. I could have just played it all cool. But anyways, there's Cat. Mossman. Here's your moment of Zener.